Congratulations, guys, on this project. It was really funny. It was very entertaining. Where did this idea come from? Why did you guys want to make this project?
I mean, I'll let you take the lead on that since.
Yeah. So Dani and I met on a panel. We were invited to a panel by Nadia Simone of Black Tina. And it was at the very beginning of the pandemic when like being virtual was new and fun. It was a panel centering Afro-Latinas. My dad's Afro-Puerto Rican.
My mom is Afro-Puerto Rican.
And so that's how we met. And so it was just very organic. So after the panel, we followed each other on Instagram, just like liking each other's stuff and like, you know, all the things. And then one day she sent me a pitch deck about a project separate from this that she'd been working on. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it later because we're going to talk about this, but it was a pitch deck and I really admired her as a writer and she seemed to really know what she was doing. And I was like, she's cool. I'm gonna show her something just to see. And then she's like, cool. She's like, you want to talk about another project that I also want to work on? I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so I was started Instagram stalking her, right? Yeah. So I go on the rabbit hole. I see the video, like she's Fidelia in the Jenny Lorenzo universe on YouTube. And I watched her, some of the videos of her. She was, you know, improvised. Everybody thinks I can improvise, but it's a skill. And you know, being bilingual is also a skill. And so she was improvising in Spanish, and I was like, okay, like I was really impressed by like her work, and I was like, I want to work with her. And so yeah, I pitched myself to her, and I was like, hey, I have this idea. Stay tuned, episode 3. I won't spoil it, but there's a scene in episode 3 that I really wanted to see, and I felt like we were the only ones who could portray that because of our very specific ethnic and racial background. And so we just every Tuesday for an hour.
And it was the best Tuesdays of my life.
She's not a morning person, but she would show up for me.
I would. It was so fun.
And my niece Joseli Paniagua was our writer's assistant, and then she also acted in it and she produced it with us. She would show up with us every Tuesday for an hour for almost 2 years. And then after those 2 years, we had 5 episodes written. And then we were like, well, let's make the thing. And here we are at South by.
That is awesome because, when you're watching it, it feels like a very genuine friendship. So it makes sense that you guys spent such a long time together, you know, making this happen. But how easy was it to transfer your friendship into this project?
I think for me, as an actor, I like to take bits of like real life. I also have a best friend. So we were kind of blending things like in the writing. I have a best friend that I've lived with since I moved to LA. So like the past 8 years. And then we'd been best friends since we were 9 years old. So like using that real life experience and then having like a new friend that I've been friends with for like 3 years, you know what I mean? Like I think we were both able to pull from our childhood friendships to kind of get to like that deeper level that like, you know, we're still learning about each other, and have it like translate to screen in that way that feels more, you know, I guess made it feel more organic and made it feel like very like seamless. If that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. And in the beginning, we kind of see where this project is headed, like where the story arc is headed. Why choose to do that type of like flashback type of project?
Yeah, so it's we're taking on like a Rashomon approach. So we have the first episode, which you saw in the pilot, where my friend group, Adaliz's friend group, so to speak, are gossiping about what happened. And then the second episode, her and her friend group are gossiping about what happened. And so we're both embellishing the story as gossip, as you do with gossip, right? You know, so I'm making myself look good, and then when she talks to her friends, she's making herself look good. And then we go back, I make myself look good, but then the friends start gossiping amongst each other, and they're making themselves look good. So it just becomes this whole, you know, approach of just like what the kind of the nature of gossip. And it felt right to do it in a Rashomon approach, which is like, you don't really know what really happened, but what you know for sure is that this friendship ends. And so once I wrote an episode of The Proud Family using the Rashomon approach, and I was like, oh, this is the move for CHUCHI and Adaliz, because it's a friend breakup. And anytime, you know, something like that happens, even when you like a romantic breakup, like you go and tell your friends what happened, but obviously you're never in the wrong. And so that we like just transferred that into this, the friend breakup.
Awesome. And what made you think of South by Southwest to bring this project to?
Well, we applied and they said yes. We were like, yes, thank you. Take our organs. Like, which one do you want? Like, we'll donate blood. Like, thank you for inviting us.
We're both O negative, so we're universal.
Yeah.
Worldwide. No. Yeah, that was definitely all thanks to Ashley. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, how happy are you to be at South by Southwest then?
We're ecstatic. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we got rejected from another, like, we got rejected from another, like, festival. And we're like, okay, like, that's okay. That's like, fine, we did that. Fine, we're at South by, like.
And back to the project, you know, you put a lot of your culture into this project. It seems like it's going to be taking on a lot of topics and making light of it. What kind of topics did you put into it? What can people expect from watching this series?
Yeah, so the first episode, Adaliz loses her job. The second episode, Chuchi teaches her how to be poor. The third episode, Chuchi and Adaliz get in a fight. The fourth episode, they'd stop talking. And the fifth episode, they meet up after several months of not having, you know, any real contact with each other. And so each episode sort of, you know, builds toward that, like, you know, final scene of just like, yeah, they're not really friends anymore. And within that, we built into the fabric of the story, just showcasing like socioeconomic differences. So my character Adaliz is an avatar for San Francisco. Chuchi's character, or Dani's character Chuchi, is an avatar for Oakland. And so when you put the two of them together in the same room, it explodes. So as friends, they bonded over their ethnic and racial identity as Afro-Puerto Ricans, but as adults, it's not enough to sustain the friendship.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all. No, it's good.
Yeah.
You say it all so beautifully. I just want to be like, she said it.
And
you know, producing it yourselves, how liberating is that as opposed to, you know, trying to find somebody to help you produce it?
Liberating is a really funny word.
You know, our line producer's here. He's literally saved our lives.
Yeah, he's literally.
Or come in here, come say a little hello.
He's giggling because he knows.
This is Jeremy. Hey, he's our line producer. Save our lives, spreadsheets for life.
So how different is it from producing it for yourselves as opposed to having a big company produce it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I primarily work as a TV writer. So I've worked for, you know, different various TV shows where, you know, there's $1 million budgets, so $1 million stakes. And so my job as a writer is to execute the vision of the showrunner. But as the creators, we get to execute our own vision.
Right.
So we have all creative control, which is really nice. And even like when we were, you know, trying to fundraise, we had some donors and, you know, and we were like, contractually, we're gonna keep all creative control. Are you cool with that? And they're like, yeah. And so we got to really ensure that we told a story that we set out to tell without any of that oversight. And that, I mean, as stressful as it was, it really was really liberating to be able to tell a story that was true to ourselves. And I'm really proud of the work that we did.
Me too. Also, I will say, like, for me, I've always worked, like, I create like my own series and like my own kind of things because I want to keep creative, right? Like, nobody's going to give you a job all the time unless like you make jobs for yourself. So I've been used to working in like the, like, I guess like lower budget or like the creative budget is like what people like to call it range. So it was fun. This was like our biggest budget. Like for me, I was like, wow, like this is a big budget. Ashley like really hooked it up by finding all the best donors, writing all the best letters. She's like, no, we got this. We got this. Like get you a girl like Ashley on your team. Cause let me tell you, it will get done. Cause I'm just very used to being like, well, I guess like this is where we're at and the buck stops here. You know what I mean? Like this is like where we end, but to have someone like you with like your skill level to just like really push us through and like get us the things that we need to make it perfect and beautiful and bring us to a place like South by Southwest is really amazing. And for that part of the experience, like it was just so, I'm just really grateful I got to learn from somebody like Ashley. So
I didn't know what I was doing.
You're doing everything right. Thanks.
That's incredible though. But congratulations once again. This is a very funny project. I can't wait to keep on watching this series until we find out, what the end of the story arc is.
Who knows?
Thank
Maybe
you.
they'll get back together
Who knows?
and then break up again. Might be off and on. On again, off.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, congratulations. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.